Hello. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Tori, and we are doing a round 2 of the mid-year book freakout tag with a couple of adjustments. We did this last year, and I will leave a link to the video from last year somewhere up here so you guys can go watch it. It was great fun, and we decided that we had so much fun last year that we would do it again. So I am joined on screen by 2 of my very cool Booktube friends who I've known for way too long at this point. And one of them has the best voice on Booktube. Kay from Kay's Hidden Shelf, whichever direction you are.
I knew
Yeah, I should have been like Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And the king of...
What, the DNF?
The DNF. Because that's your claim to fame now.
It's what I'm known for. I don't even really DNF all that much this year.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully that just means you're reading books that you're enjoying.
I'm reading less.
There's something to be said for that, though, honestly.
Yeah.
I am too, and I've had 3 5-star reads this month, which I am just very excited about because that doesn't happen for me very often. So anyways, so I have the list of questions here, and I will also include them down in the description box, which I forgot to do last year and was mad at myself because I couldn't just go copy them when we were doing this again. So I will put the questions down in the description box below. Let's start with, I'm going to pick on my friends a little bit to start with.
You warned us that you were going to throw a curveball.
I did. So last year, there's a question at the very end of this list of questions that what is a book that you have to read, quote unquote, by the end of the year? And I wrote down all of our answers, and I want to see if we read them or not.
No idea.
I don't know what I said, but I didn't.
Well, Kayla, you gave yourself 3.
I didn't read any of them.
I gave myself 2, and Andrew, you skimmed through there with 1. So I actually can't remember if you've read it or not. So I'm very curious. So Andrew, have you or have you not read The Blue Flames by Jacqueline Hagan?
Oh no.
Andrew.
I think I've gotten I got 8% into it, and then it was just kind of an ooze squirrel away, which is funny because I'm Tuckerized in the next book.
There was a lot of conflict over that book in the video last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Still, here you go, folks. We don't actually read the books that we say we're going to read.
You can still see my bookmark from when I just stuck it in.
Yeah, so everyone, please see my video on my channel. Do booktubers actually read?
I mean, I read. I just
for more
read
context.
other things.
Kayla, you gave yourself a stack last year, so I'm very curious to see if you completed any of them. Do you remember any of the ones you said?
I think one of them I said was one of Janie Wirt's.
Curse of the Mistwraith. Yep.
Curse of the Mistwraith. Have not read that yet.
Not read.
I did.
I
I read 70%.
You read Kayla's book for her. There we go.
I did that for you. You can just mark that off.
And she read Blue Flames for you, so it all worked out. I'm just screwed over here, you know?
Exchange. It's the law of equivalent exchange.
This is just friendship. That's how that works.
Yeah. Had each other on the back. There you go.
I'll send you the clip notes. Don't worry.
I have no idea what I said for the other 2.
Shogun.
I read that one too.
Thank you.
I have also read Shogun. And the last one was Malice by John Gwynne.
And I've read that one.
I've read that one too.
I didn't read any of them.
I thought you'd read Malice. There was somewhere in my head canon that was like, Kayla's read Malice.
I started it and then wasn't really clicking with it at the time.
Sure.
You know, and then I was like, I'll put it down and come back to it. So I did start it.
Okay, well, we'll count that as like a half point then.
There's also 6 months left in the year, so I still got time.
That's true. That is true. Well, this was, you were going to read by the end of last year.
Oh. No, then.
That little glimmer of hope, and I just stole it away.
Then no.
No.
Yep. No.
Well, I had two, and I did read one of them and did not read the other. So, I mean, I have a reason for the second one. I didn't remember what I had said either. I said Lord of the Flies. See, that was
Okay.
I picked really short books, you guys. That's the,
Mm.
you know. And then also Dracula, which I did start, and then I didn't like the edition that I had. And so I got rid of the edition that I had and just recently bought a better one. So I will hopefully come back to it, but I haven't read Dracula.
You know when I said I didn't DNF anything? I have DNF Dracula.
Do you know, Andrew, that doesn't surprise me if I'm being totally honest.
I found Van Helsing very annoying.
I mean, I might as well, so I'm very curious to see how that goes. But on that note, we're going to go to a more positive place now. But I was curious to see how we had done on our, so now I'm going to have to do this every year where we'll see
Just
whatever you guys say.
Can you just take my answers from last year and tack them onto this year?
We'll see.
Yeah.
You sure you want me to do that?
No, because I don't think I'm going to succeed.
Every year I'll be like, no, I didn't read them.
No. That'll end up being the running joke. It'll be like 15 years down the road. We're all still doing Booktube. And we've not read any of these books still.
That would be upsetting.
It would be upsetting. Okay, so Wizard and Kayla, we're going to start with our favorite book of 2025 so far. I don't know about you guys, but I had a hard time because so do we want to say how many books we've all read up to this point?
Oh, I don't know.
I just dropped my book.
And also, does it have to be a book that we've finished?
Ooh, I mean, it's your question. You can answer it however you so choose.
I would say it's my current read. So.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Interesting.
So, Andrew, how many books have you read this year so far?
47.
Okay. I'm at 40. Kayla?
I'm representing us slow readers at 19.
Yes. I mean, can we just pause for a brief moment? And for everybody watching this, like, the average human being does not read 20 books a year. So our slow readers on Booktube are
there was
still
a year I did 230. I think halfway through the year, me being at 47 is a huge scale back.
I'm super proud of you. Well done.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of more short books this year, I think. Maybe that's just me, but I've been enjoying shorter books this year. Not that I've gotten burned out on big series because I'm still reading them. I'm in the middle of Sun Eater right now, but I've really been enjoying some shorter reads in a variety of genres, which has been kind of nice. So, all right. So out of that number, Andrew, do you want to tell us about your current read and why it's your favorite?
I can't quite pinpoint why it's my favorite. Right now, I am living for Black River Orchard by Chuck Wendig. Now, this is a small town horror book that has ruined apples for me. Because basically, it's a cursed apple story, where basically we've got this down on their luck family, and they've been struggling to start an apple orchard, and then all of a sudden they start producing the best tasting apples that anybody in town has had, but they seem to be addictive. And they seem to be changing people. And then we've also got just other stories going. There's a murder mystery. There's a flashback that I'm still waiting on context for that takes place 100 years prior to the start of the story, where things took a darker turn. And this may be where the origins of the apples come from. And it's so interesting, and it's also an incredibly modern book with its themes. I do not recommend this book to people with conservative viewpoints. Let's put it that way. This is something you've got to be because there's high schoolers and they're going to have high schooler viewpoints and stuff like that. And it's such an interesting book, and it's evocative and it's enthralling and it's gripping, and I like the characters and I like the twists. And I just want to know where it's going.
So can I ask a question? How far are you in it?
I am 26%.
That's it? And this is your favorite book of 2025 so far?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's impressive. I will say, though, I can completely respect and understand, like, the thrill of a book that really makes you think. Like, I have a book in my stack for our questions in a little bit that it kind of falls into that same category. I think if it like shakes things up and it feels different and interesting and you don't know where it's going, especially when you read as much as we do, that's always a fun. Like,
at 26%, I went online and I bought a signed hardcover.
Whoa. Yeah.
I added all of the books to my Amazon wish list that I could find from this author, just so I could buy them later.
Wow.
I like in my video.
There you go, folks.
That's getting ready to come out, although I don't know when this is coming out. I rant and rave for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, so check Andrew's Wizardly Reads channel, which this is a perfect time to pause briefly and say that you guys should go down in the description box below and click the links to Kayla and Andrew's channels and give them subscribes and likes and all of the things if you haven't already, because they're both awesome. And if you're subscribed to me, you should definitely be subscribed to them because you'll see their faces on my channel a lot. You're welcome. But yeah, so check Wizard's channel for a review, and if it's not there yet, hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when it is. Am I getting better at that whole like promoting?
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, great. Keep it up.
5 years in, I got it.
Feel free to mention it 6 more times throughout the video.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And our merch store. Just kidding. All right, Kayla, what is your favorite book so far of 2025?
So I tweaked the question a little bit.
Okay.
Because I tweaked it in the way where I just said most memorable.
Okay. I can drive with that.
I love the books that I finish and I'm still thinking about it months and months after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up picking The Trial of Rooker Flynn by A.R. Witham, because this is beautifully dark. This is a sequel in the series, in the trilogy. So it's book 2, keeping that in mind. So it's picking up where book 1 left off with the characters. They're basically in a magical academy that's a front for worse things. You follow a hot-headed pirate, and you've got like the dynamics of this character, and a bit of his background is still a mystery, and they're going through some really crazy stuff in this school. You know, so it was just all of the arcs for the characters, everything they have to go through, how they go from, you know, survival of the fittest to having to make plans and do things and act those plans was really interesting to me. So I think this one, especially for particular scenes, they just stuck with me. They've stuck. They're ingrained in my brain, and they live there rent free now. So it hyped me up for book 3. So
when is book 3 coming out?
I don't know.
Couple months.
Ooh.
Jinx.
So yeah,
August. I think August is when it's supposed to drop.
That's exciting.
I wish. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm making plans in my head on how I can read it.
I can see it.
And he started writing something else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to.
I just talked to AR like.
I'm sending him a message after this.
Andrew I've been hearing really good things about that trilogy so far. So I have the ebooks of those, and I'm excited to try them.
It is nothing like Legend of Blackjack.
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
it will. Yeah, blow your socks off.
I'm excited. Fun. I want to read it. I'm excited. So my favorite book so far in 2025 is going to shock everyone, I'm sure. Yes. So prepare yourselves. I hope you're both sitting down. Okay. Thank you. Good. Okay. Kayla's set. All right. So my favorite book of 2025 so far, A Hunt for Jackals by J.L. Odom. No way. Everyone gasp in shock collectively. Okay. So, so this is also a book 2. from her Land of Exile series, which the final book should be coming out early 2026, if I'm not mistaken, which is too long, and I will probably... Here's my flex. I'll probably get to read it before it comes out. But Jamie's first book, By Blood, by Salt, just won SPIFBO and was so incredibly well-deserved. And when I read this book, it's one of those things when you read the first book and you absolutely love it. And then there's that element of terror that's like, but what if it's bad after that? Like, I love this first book so much. Like, I'm so terrified of that going downhill. Book 2 was even better, in my opinion. And the character arcs, this is almost like kind of straddles the line between fantasy and alternate history, which is something I'm really loving recently. Her atmosphere and her like desert cultures and the focus on language in this series and the character arcs. This is such a deep character study, and I absolutely love it. One of my favorite female characters in all of fantasy is in this trilogy now. And I just absolutely love it. And I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing. Everything gets thrown out the window when book 3 is available. It's gone. I will drop everything.
Even Ben? You're just going to drop Ben on the ground?
If he's in my way when the book 3 comes out, I'll be like, babe, poof, get out my way. But yeah,
Maybe so crash on my couch for a couple days.
Yeah, no. You've been trying to steal my husband for like 3 years now.
What? No, I wouldn't.
So yeah, that's my favorite book of 2025, and I love it, and everyone should go read it. Read the first one first. Okay, so keeping on that positive trajectory, we're going to go to the best sequel that you've read so far, which I'm not going to use Haunt for Jackals because I'm going to give a spotlight to somebody else.
Oh, sure.
Secretly,
though, you're like this one.
Mine's a little sad. It's going to be...
Oh, I know which one it is. Oh,
Mountain
yeah.
By Howard Andrew Jones, who passed this year. Mm-hmm. And this entire series has just been fantastic. If you love sword and sorcery, you need to check this series out. Each book is a multitude of stories because it's a bunch of short stories stitched together into a narrative. And we've just got Hanavar, such a good character, what he's fighting for, and his mindset, and even through all of the adversity that he has gone through and the loss that he's dealt with, and he's still, at his core, a character of deep emotion and heart and love. He leads with love. And he's still got his anger, but the love is always the priority. And, I mean, just, if it had to end somewhere, at least it ended here.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Beautifully said.
I, having only read the first book so far, the way that I've pitched that to people is that it is all of the best parts of classic fantasy.
Yeah.
Like it is everything good about classic fantasy, and it's really good.
Ignore the woman in the skimpy outfit on the cover. I remember Tori was just looking at it like, you want me to read this?
Yeah, I was like, okay, what am I in for here? But no, it's a really good opening book. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah. Kayla.
I'm getting it. I had to dig it out because I put it on the bottom.
Like, don't rush me.
I knew it.
Yeah. Words of Kings and Prophets by Shauna Lawless. So this is an Irish historical fantasy. Blends, I don't know if it blends mythology, but it is based on their history, I think. But you follow Fola and oh my gosh, Gormla. I can see the names in my head. They're so hard to actually pronounce.
Yeah.
And basically you have these two warring clans who are long-lived people, like hundreds of years, and they live in secret, essentially, from mortals. And they're having their own little tiffs in the background. of mortals and, spies and stuff within the mortal realms and kingdoms. And so it's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of character work put into this as well. And some of the, how books, authors will just build up all of that foreshadowing, all of that momentum, all of those little hints and secrets, and then it just drops. And it's so juicy, and you're geared up for the next one. Yes, this was probably, I think, that kind of read for me. So this is just a really in-depth series. If you're going to get involved, a lot of character work, a lot of character study, but yeah,
I read book 1, and it reminded me of Game of Thrones, specifically all the political Cersei parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically, one of your main protagonists is essentially Cersei.
Okay.
Yes and no. Okay. I can see where that I can see where people say that. I don't know. I found her different enough that I was okay with it, and I liked.
They're not identical. It just
no.
It's one of those characters where I was just like,
she's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a lot.
You're talking Gormla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read the whole trilogy now, Kayla?
No, not the whole trilogy. So I read the first 2 books and the novellas, because there's novellas in between the 2 books, and then book 3. I'm going to be diving into that this summer. So, but yeah, Gormla. My opinions of Gormla have changed from book 1 to book 2.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what I mean. It gets really interesting with the character work and the character studies, because you think you know these characters, and then it's just, she just pulls the rug out from under you.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
I am going to do a tie because I'm not willing to share.
I see Discworld.
Yeah. Also shocking, I'm sure, to everyone. I'm going to do Night Watch, which I literally just finished 2 days ago.
Did you give it 5 stars?
Nice.
Yeah.
I told you.
Elephant, which is book 5, and this one is book 6 in Terry Pratchett's City Watch within his Discworld universe. And shock of all shocks, I am still madly in love with Discworld and the City Watch specifically, and it's one of my new favorite series. Terry Pratchett is one of my new favorite authors, and what I love so much is that even though all of the books are episodic in nature, they're kind of standalone-esque, every book you read with these characters just makes you fall deeper and deeper in love with them. And then when you get to the next book and you open the page and you see somebody come on, walking onto the setting, it's like an instant going home feeling. And just, I have laughed and cried, and just, I love this series so much. And these 2 both were phenomenal.
So when last we spoke about that, you weren't quite feeling book 6.
The first half of Night Watch, I did struggle with a little bit. Yeah. And the ending was really hard hitting. And I think he goes deeper and darker in his themes in that one than he does in the rest of the series, which I liked. But it was, both Ben and I cried when we were listening to the audiobook. We were just sitting there like, this is, and so both of these are phenomenal sequels in City Watch, and I only have 2 books left, and I'm kind of sad about it. So, okay.
City Watch is my favorite.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So good. Anyways, new release that you haven't, I can't read, that you want to read but haven't yet. There we go.
I've got 2 answers.
So do I.
I would like to try The Devils.
Oh, okay.
I'm not optimistic that it's for me, but I would like to try it.
That's fair.
And then this gentleman just dropped a book called Staircase in the Woods.
That's a good title. I like that.
Supposedly Motley Crue coming of age.
Oh.
But it's a friend group Finding Haunted Stairs in the Woods. And
Gimme.
I ordered a copy. It's in the mail. It's in my gift.
If you love it and it's not like too far into the horror scope, let me know.
All right, I will.
Because I like the title and Motley Crue coming of age. You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of my jam. So
yeah,
cool. Kayla,
I don't have a copy of this, but
I will plaster it in front of our faces.
Just right here. Just right here.
In front of
just cover Kayla's face.
Yeah. Indie book. It's Perils of the Past by Ken Williams.
Yeah.
The tagline
cool
for
cover.
it, and the tagline really interests me. So
isn't that the one with like the portal in the back and like it's
got like
dynamic
teeth.
action shot? It's like a bubble or something.
It's like a cave,
No.
I think.
Okay.
It's like a
Maybe
cave
I'm thinking
with
of something
like
different.
ice teeth.
It'll be right here, Andrew. It'll be right here.
I'm really looking forward to watching this back.
So the tagline for it is basically The Mummy, the movie. And you know how Evelyn's
one of
character.
my favorite movies.
It is. But you know how Evelyn's character has a connection with the past life?
Yeah.
So imagine that concept, but your past life stands against everything you stand for in your current life.
Ooh.
So yeah, that premise really makes me intrigued.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
So get that.
Yeah. So
I'm intrigued. That is a great tagline. Yeah.
Yeah, your past life stands against everything you're fighting for. Like now I want, what is she fighting for? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's actually the hero here?
Yeah.
The two I have, one of which is like, so this came out in 2024. So if we don't want to count that, fine, whatever. I have two.
Right.
But Guard in the Garden by Z.S. De Monte. For me, a new release is anything that's come out in the last 5 years. Let's be real.
I think that came out
last year, late last year, I think.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, that's fine. It counts.
So this is one that I really want to get to. It's a cozy about a veteran dwarf who is kind of trying to fit himself back into normal life. And I'm really excited to read that. And then the other one that I didn't know was coming out until like a few days before it dropped is Alec Hudson's Sharded Few Book 2, Sanguine Sands.
I only had to see that much of the cover to know that it was an Alec.
It's a great cover. And I haven't clicked buy now so fast in a long time because I have been waiting for this. Umbral Storm was the first one, and it surprised me how much I enjoyed that book. And I still think about it occasionally, and I've read it like 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to read this one. And it's actually shorter than book 1, which like never happens. So I'm not mad about it. Okay, so now we're going to take a nosedive. Yay. And I want to know, Kay, what has been your biggest disappointment so far in 2025?
So I wanna start this by, it's really well written, and I don't know if it was my expectations going into it that set me up for failure. So it's well written in terms of the themes that it covers, but it was disappointing to me in terms of the actual storyline. So The Last Gifts of the Universe by Rory August. That was originally indie, got picked up by Trad. Kind of like a cozy sci-fi, but a bit sad. The theme that it covers is grief and survival. And basically it follows a brother and a sister who are a form of archaeologists in a way. And they travel from planet to planet looking for life. But every planet they go to, none exist, only remnants of what was once there. And so it becomes a whole like trying to save Earth and the humans on the Earth, but there's competition with corporations involved as well as like self-employed archaeologists. So they run into an issue, and it basically becomes an arms race for an answer as to what to do and how to solve the problem. but it deals with different forms of grief. And while the topic was well handled, just the developments and the plot points of the story and the characters just fell flat for me.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Wiz?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Biggest disappointment this year, because I know you have one.
I've got two. Specifically, two that I finished.
Okay.
All Systems Red, shocking everybody.
What?
Yeah, gasp. I'm very vocal that I found All Systems Red by Martha Wells disappointing. Murderbot #1.
Yeah.
It was fine, but like I was expecting funny. And like I get dry humor. I watch British comedy all the time.
Yeah.
The entire novella got one chuckle out of me, and I don't even remember when.
What it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It just wasn't intriguing enough to pull me into that next entry.
Yeah.
I finished that novella and felt, yeah, this is a good stopping point. Knowing that there was 5 other adventures, and I just had no want to delve deeper into the characterization of Murderbot. I'm sure there's something deeper other than soap operas, but I, for the life of me, couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And then there's the Anubis Gates by Tim Powers. I feel like I should have loved this book because the concept, the characters, the ideas expressed within the book, all fascinating. But it just felt like there was too many plot threads. We had to resolve every single minutia with it. Like every single plot thread had to be tied up, despite the fact where I'm just like, can we just move on from this? Like, this character 4 times. Please stop. And it's just, I don't know. I was tired by the end of it, and I was just kind of looking towards the next read, very longingly wishing that my current read was just done.
Yeah.
Ouch. So I was trying to figure out how to interpret this question, because I don't typically go for a book that I like just really disliked or hated, because for me, like, for it to be a disappointment, I had to have had at least expectations of like a decent time, or like just assuming that, yeah, I'm just going to go into it open-ended and it'll be fine and we'll see what happens. So like I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins this year and was expecting to hate it, and shock of all shocks, I did. So to me, that wasn't really a disappointment because it fulfilled my expectations. I would say for this one, the one that I had expectations of having a good time with, and it just really nosedived very quickly, it was The Princess Bride by William Goldman.
Oh, yeah. You told me.
I did a whole video about this, and I grew up with the film, but I didn't go into the book expecting it to be the film. Like, I expected it to be a different experience, and I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing that. I don't know how to describe it other than the author was so like impressed with himself. I don't know how to like explain it any other way. And he like had all this meta stuff and breaking of the fourth wall and all of this weird, like, whatever. And it was like, okay, well, why don't you just write a story about that then? Like, why is it was taking away from the actual Princess Bride story so much that I barely made it through that book, and was incredibly disappointed and didn't like it at all. So that's my biggest disappointment so far. I have strong opinions about it. Go watch the video.
I'm so glad I didn't buy the Folio Society edition.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to.
It wasn't super expensive, but I bought an illustrated edition of it, and like a friend reached out and was like, hey, are you going to sell that when you're done because you didn't like it? And I was like, yeah, you can have it. Let's move on to our biggest surprise so far in 2025, which I'm actually really excited to talk about because it involves one of you two.
I'm sure it's Kayla.
What?
Yeah. Kayla, what has been your biggest surprise so far this year?
Oh, we're changing it up. All right.
I am unpredictable.
Really? Well, we've seen this
I've
one.
always said Tori is super unpredictable.
It's true.
Well,
Says Andrew.
Says me.
Exactly.
It feels weird to hear you call me Andrew.
Sorry, I'll just keep going. You're the only Andrew here, so I can do that. All right, Wizard.
Thank
Let's
you.
let Kayla have the floor.
Guard in the Garden by Z.S. Diamante.
I saw it.
I love cozy fantasy, but I do find a lot of the cozy fantasy that I read, the stakes, they're low to begin with, but it feels a bit fluffy in a way. This, however, is probably the strongest cozy fantasy I've read because it's grounded in real world experiences. It gives a lot more depth to the main character, Felton, I think is his name. And basically, Tori kind of gave a synopsis already, but basically you're following a injured in action soldier where all he's envisioned his life is being a soldier and being in war and battles. And he's basically sent to a cozy little town to live with his two aunties and to rest and recover. And it's, you see the raw emotions of PTSD, of physical limitations, not being able to do things for himself. And then he gets offered a job as a guard within this quaint, cozy little quiet town. And so it's kind of a lot more endearing and a lot more cozy to me because you have such a very clear and deep look into everything this character goes through, to the point of trying to build relationships when he feels so broken. And being a soldier, right? They don't share anything. So, you know, but yeah, that I think is the strongest cozy fantasy I've read. And I don't know that much will top it for me.
Love that. I'm excited to read it. Can't wait.
Send me all the messages.
I will. Wizard.
Mine.
What is your biggest surprise?
Mine is a book that I had DNF'd and unhauled. And then.
Oh, which one it is?
And well, you do you?
Maybe.
It's Swan Song.
Oh, that's not the one I thought you were going to say.
Which one did you think it was?
Well, no, because you wouldn't have unhauled that one. Never mind. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So this is Swan Song. This is broken up into two different books. This is a heavy book, by the way. And honestly, this is also one of the prettiest books I've gotten this year. So that's an upcoming answer. But it was, I had read the first 50%, I think 2 years ago or a year ago. And I was like, that's fine. And I think I was just in a funk and I just closed the book and I walked away. And then all of a sudden, like, I was like, well, was I in a mood? And so I came back and I read book 2, which they're completely separate, different reading experiences. Because one is fresh apocalypse. Book number 2 is we're 7 years into this. People have been through the wars. They're suffering from the radiation. They're coming to terms with this bleak existence. And then all of a sudden, hope. And it's literally these small kernels of hope. And they start coming together and they start cherishing each other. And people learn to love again. And to trust again, and to kind of push back against the bad. And that's why this was just such a good reading experience for me. This book is so heavy.
I'm curious about that one.
I would not recommend it for you.
I know, but I'm still curious.
Do so at your own peril.
Yeah.
It's got all of the trigger warnings. All of them.
Okay, noted. Well, my biggest surprise so far was actually a book that was recommended for me specifically by none other than the Wizard on the Screen.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised that I 5-starred this book, you guys. I was so surprised. And I still want to do a dedicated review for it. I'm still processing how to talk about this book. So I'm going to give it my best shot. Doomakey by Stephen King. So I had asked Wizard a while ago, and I know you guys have probably heard the story before, but I'll share it again for anybody who's new. I did not see myself ever becoming a Stephen King fan. I still don't necessarily. But I was like, all right, Wizard, you are probably my closest Stephen King aficionado friend and the person who knows my reading taste the best, who can speak to King. And so I was like, what book in his entire canon of work do you think I have the best chance of loving? And guys, he was right on the money. 5 stars. I'm still thinking about this book, and I'm like,
so good. I
put it down and I wanted to reread it immediately. Like, it was such a surprise for me because I went into this thinking, okay, I'm expecting it to be good because I know that Wizard would recommend me a book that I'm going to enjoy to some degree, but I didn't expect it to be a 5-star read. And there were some things. Mr. King has some things that he likes to throw in his books for no reason. However, this book is one of the most weird genre bendy. It's a slice of life. It's about healing and loss and grief and coming to terms with that grief on a multi-generational level, which I love a multi-generational story always. And the characters were so just alive the whole time. And that twist at the end, you guys, I had to put this down a couple times because I was reading it at night, and I was like, side-eyeing my bedroom door at night, like, nope. The twist is so, and I kind of partially called parts of it, which I was very proud of myself for. But it's so good, you guys. That really surprised me. So that's the first time I've really tried to talk about it in a semi-coherent way, because it's really hard to explain why it's so good, but it's very good. So Wizard, thank you for the recommendation. That was perfectly chosen, and you were right. I did love it.
Glad to hear it. That one's so good.
It is very good.
I love that Andrew did a victory dance while you were revealing.
He's like, yeah. See, this is why, guys, anybody who's watching this video, Kayla did a wonderful video recently that I think you all should go watch about, does Booktube still have value and why? And it was the perspective of a bunch of us Booktubers. And I think building a community like this, where we have people who know our reading tastes, or we find Booktubers who have kind of similar reading taste to us, really, there's so many books, right? There's so many books, and it gets very overwhelming very easily. And to have people in your corner who can be like, you're going to like this, is so nice. Because I don't have to wade through a whole bunch of bad Stephen King experiences. I can be like, hey, Wizard, what should I read? And I get a 5-star book out of the deal, and I'm happy. That's cool. And I know that we always recommend things to, last year, Kayla recommended me Nomads of the Sea, which was also a 5-star read for me.
I think she also recommended that one to me, and I love that book.
Yeah, I mean, fabulous.
I need book 2.
That's the fun part. And I love that last year I had Nomads of the Sea, and I was like, oh, this is a great recommendation. And this year I have an Andrew recommendation. So it just kind of illustrates the point. Listen to your friends.
Yes.
Okay. New favorite author this year. I have a suspicion I might know Kayla's. Maybe.
All right. Yours.
Who
well,
is
they might be Shauna Lawless. I have to, I can't hold up to my rule of only one per question, because I think there's 15 questions and I've read 19 books. So
you only whatever rules you want.
But I think in terms of books by an author, I have read 4 of her books already this year. So I've read the most books from her so far this year. But yeah, just the story and the characters she's built, the way she articulates the stories, really enjoyed it. It's, I think, the first series in a long time that sucked me in, and just I don't want to leave. So for that, yeah, new favorite author.
I love that. Andrew, Wizard.
Well, so honorable shout out to Windig. I've only read 26% of the book. But that's the honorable mention. And then I've been really having a renaissance with Robert McCammon. But like I was reading him prior.
Yeah.
And so like I'd been reading the Matthew Corbett books for a couple years. Something that was new to me that saved me from a very deep reading slump is going to be Beware of Chicken by Casual Farmer. And this is, I mean, this will appear again within this book tag at least 2 more times.
Love it. Noted. Yep. Okay.
It's just such a heartwarming, cozy. It's hilarious, and you get these character moments, and it's silly, and it shouldn't work, but it does. And this is a series I walked away from twice. Like the first time I read it, it starts out with like profanity, and I was just like, I don't like that, and so I walked away. And then I read the first chapter, and all of a sudden a chicken is in a fight, and I'm like, that's too weird, and I walked away. And then when I needed it, it was there.
Yeah.
And I read all 4 books back to back to back to back, which I did not do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I would say anytime, like some of the booktubers in my circle will do this more often, but I feel like a lot of us kind of jump around a lot because we're trying to read as many authors and we're excited about a bunch of different things. So when somebody binges a series, that's usually a good sign.
It was so good.
Yeah, and not just like, magpieing, everything's shiny. And so we also have a ton of people going, hey, you want to buddy read this? And then, of course,
yes. Or have you read that yet?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there's, outside influence.
So, Wizard, have you read Blue Flames yet?
You know what? I'll leave the video and I'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna leave us for the rest of the video. Mine is actually not a fantasy author this year because I technically started reading Terry Pratchett last year, and he was my answer last year. I decided to swerve into mystery and thriller a little bit this year, and I've been having a really good time with that, trying a bunch of different things. And I found a author who is a Japanese author of mysteries that I have just fallen head over heels with. This is like everything I wanted in a gateway mystery series for me. And that is Keigo Higashino. I've read 2 of his books now. Malice was the other one, and I read that late last year. Newcomer solidified that I wanted to buy everything else. So the 2 I've read so far are part of his Detective Kaga series, and he does such a good job of, it's very character focused. So it is still like the mystery or the murder of the person is at the core of the story and trying to figure out who did it. But the why done it is the more important part of the quest through the story. And this one is like a small precinct within Tokyo. So it feels very small town, and Detective Kaga is going around and he's solving little mini family mysteries for all of the different like shopkeepers and people around the murder. And we're gaining insight into the murder itself as we go. And it was just, I loved this book. And I'm at a point where I really love Higashino's approach to mystery. I really love his character focus. And I have like 5 more books on my shelves by him to read now.
I remember you talking about this series.
Yeah. I don't think like it's not a gritty, like he doesn't shy away from things. Like it's still a murder, but it doesn't have that like gross, gritty, sometimes you need to like side eye your neighbors vibe that I get from mystery and thrillers sometimes. So if you're looking for something that's like a slightly softer entry point with still a really good mystery at the heart of it, I think Higashino is a fantastic starting point. So
awesome.
Excited to read more. All right, we're going to start with we're gonna do some characters because we love characters on this channel. So we're gonna do favorite character of the year. Wizard.
Oh, I have an answer for this. Hold on.
I sent them this extra question like an hour ago.
I was looking at it. I was like, that's not what's up next because I've got my answers.
Yeah. It's just
so again, I told you Beware of Shakespeare coming back, and she's right here on the cover. This is Mei Ling, or as she's referred to in the story, Mei Mei. My wife's name is Mei Mei. And Mei Mei within this story is a Spitfire. She's a healer who loves playing pranks and will like dye your skin blue and or lightly poison you if offended. For a prank. And I love Mei Ling. And I love my wife. So
Aww.
Yeah, that's my answer.
That's awesome. I love that.
And it's spelled the exact same way. MEI-MEI.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's kind of like when I was reading the Books of Babel, and I was pretty sure that Thomas Senlin was spelled B-E-N. They were so similar.
Yeah. We love Ben.
We do love Ben. Ben's pretty great. Shout out to Ben. And Mei Mei.
Yeah.
Okay, who's your favorite character so far this year?
All right, I'm gonna go. I love how, first of all, that Andrew went with like the lovable Spitfire who's a prankster. Mine is a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to say darker, but Mara from Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher.
Ooh.
I'm reading my first T. Kingfisher right now, right here.
Oh no, yeah, that's the horror one, right?
Yeah, one of.
Yeah. So Mara's character is she is a younger sister in a family with one or two older sisters, and basically her older sisters have been married off to a prince, and one didn't come back alive. The other one was badly injured, if I'm remembering this correctly. But basically, she is next up to be married off to this guy, and she decides, no, in fact, I'm setting out to kill a prince, and I'm going to make this right because he's untouchable, right? He's so high up in the hierarchy of things that no one can lay a finger on him, and no one questions anything when the sister dies. So I love her character and the amount of strength she brings despite her level of naivety as well, because she's still young herself, but she's like, nah, those are my sisters. That is my family. And you are going to stop hurting people.
Kay wants to go kill a prince.
Yeah. I don't want to marry the prince. I want to kill him. If he's bad.
Sure.
Right? You know, but yeah, it was just her character was very refreshing in that sense, where it takes that fairy tale setting, and rather than say, oh, and she marries the prince and it's a happily ever after. No, she like builds a dog out of bones and like brings it to life and like gets this motley crew together, and they're like misfits in their world, and they set out to kill a bad guy.
Nice.
And it's a relatively short book.
It is. Yeah, I think I read it in like 2 days.
Nice.
You could probably read it in like half a day, Andrew.
Probably.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to. If I didn't want to engage with my family at all, just put on the horse blinders.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we do though, right?
Yeah.
Daddy, I want milk. I can't hear you.
I can't. I'm reading. No. My favorite character, I tried to pick somebody that I met this year, so that took out a lot of the City Watch characters, and it took out my favorite character from Land of Exile. So I'm actually going to go back to Doomakey, and I'm going to bring up Wireman, because Wireman is he's the friend right? that. Yes, he's the guy who, like, we all need a friend in our life. Like Wireman, like he will call you on your crap, but also he's got your back no matter what. Even if he's like, oh, absolutely not. We're not, this is a bad idea. Like, and he takes care of, there's an elderly woman with dementia in this book. And he is her caretaker, her full-time caretaker. And the way that he cares about this old woman and knows all of her routines, and he cares about her like she was his own mother. And it is the most beautiful relationship. It's so sweet. It's so beautiful. And Wireman got me really emotional multiple times in this book because he just would not like walk away from his friends. And I was like, we all need somebody in our life like this. So Wireman is he's my favorite character this year so far. Okay. One of my questions that I added to this list last year and this year is a cinnamon roll character or a sweet, lovable / innocent character that we all want to adopt from our reads this year.
I know my answer.
Oh.
Did we do Tori for like half a second?
Hold on. I got to get us all back. Okay. I jostled the table and my Ethernet cord just fell out of my computer. So, as it does.
Get the duct tape.
Okay. What did I say?
You did cinnamon roll.
Thanks. That. Yep, we're doing cinnamon roll. Yeah. So a character we want to adopt. Kayla.
I think this counts, and I need one of you to hold up the book for me because I know both of you have it, or both of you should have it. Addie from Cold Silver or Souls by a Tori Second.
I don't know where it's at. There it is.
Come on, Andrew. You're supposed to have this like magic.
I have lost the ability to know where my books are ever since moving.
Oh, that's
I have yet to remap the collection.
That's fair.
Andrew, I just put my new bookshelves up like a week ago, and I know where everything is.
Basically, oh no, she's gone.
Just keep talking.
It's all right.
We'll take over her channel. It's fine.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Tori, come back.
Come back, Tori.
Tori, we miss you.
Please.
Tori.
This is what happens. This is what happens when booktubers have a host and the host goes away. We lose our way. We're like,
yeah.
What do
I talk about? What are hands for?
How do I review books?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go in the corner and rock myself gently to sleep.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you popped out for a second.
I did. I heard a ding. Hold on. Is that Tori? It is. No.
Tori, where did you go?
There she is.
Oh my gosh. Like, I was in the queue and I couldn't let myself back in. So I had to send myself. So I was like, well, can I take Kayla out and back in? Yes. Okay. So I had to send Kayla a link and invite myself back into the stream.
Is that why I got a dedude?
Yes. That's why you got a dedude. Editing.
And then I send you a boxer going, come back.
You're crying.
I heard that. I didn't check it because I knew it was you. I was like, I'm coming. Okay, cool.
Addie is my answer because she is adorable. She has the sweetest heart to her, but you want her by your side when things go downhill. So yeah, she's like the little secret weapon. The best friend you can rely on. So yeah, Addie.
Can I just say, so she doesn't show up like immediately in the story. Like there's a few things that happen before we get to Addie, right?
Yeah.
And as I was writing this book, because she existed in my head through the whole drafting process, I was like, she was like my goalpost. Like I was so excited to get to writing her because she is so much fun to write. I love her.
You did a good job with her. She's a sweetheart and
I don't know. I think the bartender's better.
I mean, he kind of fits your, type a little bit more.
Oh.
So is that your answer,
I
Andrew?
love that.
No, that's not my answer.
The bartender from Cold Silver.
Yeah, because my ego, basically my answer has to be me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to, again, I told you it was going to show up twice more.
Love
and
it.
this is Tegu right here. Tegu is a spirit animal who has transformed into a teenage girl because she wants to be more like her master and mistress. So she's taken human form. And she is a cat. So she's got those personality aspects, but also she's loyal, she's sweet, she's loving, but she's very, very aggressive and very, very confrontational. And she doesn't understand social norms. So she'll just randomly walk up to some guy and be like, "Hello, handsome man." And then like everyone's just like, "No, stop, don't do that." Like
You can't
you can't do that. But yeah, I love Tegu. Tegu's awesome. Because Tegu, the main character is from our world. He's been isekai'd into Cultivation Land. So Tegu's actual name is Tigger.
Oh, nice. I like
but
it.
Everybody around her hears Tegu.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
okay.
Tegu's my answer.
I could not decide between Ferdinand from the Books of Babel, if you know, you know, and
Ferdinand is.
Ferdinand is the large mechanical.
That
one.
It's been a few years.
And I'm not going to say any more than that because he features most prominently in book 3, and I don't want to give spoilers for anybody who hasn't started the series yet. And also, when reading Night Watch, there is a character that I happen to love very dearly from the series named Nobby Knobs. And we do a little back in timesies during this book. And we get to meet like baby Nobby Knobs. And I just about lost my crap when he showed up. Like, he was so precious, I could not handle it.
Little scamp.
I love him so much. And I want to adopt him. And I was going to say put him in my pocket, but he's a pickpocket, so I don't know how that would go.
It's a bad idea.
I wouldn't have a pocket left, honestly. So yeah, Nobby Knobs from Night Watch. Baby Nobby Knobs. Okay, I'm good. Okay, moving on to a book that either, and I had to adjust this slightly for Wizard because last year we know that Wizard doesn't cry. He just gets a little, as in his own words, misty-eyed sometimes. So a book that made you cry or made you slightly emotional. Wizard, do you want to start us off since you know?
This book has already been featured on this stream by 1K. And we've got the Trial of Ricker Flynn by AR with them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to talk about why I got emotional.
Exactly.
It deals with broken trust and reconciliation. And it's such a great book. And the reconciliation is really what got me, but also like the sitting in those sections with broken trust is so hard.
Yeah.
Especially because like Rooker is not a huggy, cuddly, feely type of character. He's very rough around the edges. He's very gruff. He's very just, well, I don't need anybody. I'm a pirate. I'm Rooker Flynn. But like inside, he's just this little boy who's like crying.
Oh.
And like, I don't know, you get a little bit of backstory as well into like how Rooker became Rooker, and where he starts and stuff like that, and that's slowly being unveiled throughout the series. And this, I just really enjoyed this reading experience.
Gosh, you guys are like you're gonna wreck my TBR. Stop it.
It is an intense read.
It is. Yeah.
I love an intense read. It's the right kind of intense.
It's more of a, I'm invested in these characters, and why do these awful things keep happening from them? Maybe.
Yeah. So like most of my favorite books.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, how about you?
First of all, can we clip that that like little improv of Rooker Flynn?
Yes. I will tag Andy with them in the description. Which, speaking of which, this is your second reminder to go down in the description box below. Like and subscribe to Kay and Andrew.
All right. Well, mine is I think you've read this one.
I have not yet.
Okay.
It's on my priority reads for this year.
Oh, okay. It's hard to talk about, but The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. This is Japanese literary fiction. And you basically follow a young man and his cat, and you're seeing it through the cat's perspective. And the man is taking his cat across Japan to meet some old school friends. And the story evolves from there. And to try and describe anything more is just takes away from the experience of it. But basically you're going on this journey with the cat and his owner. You're seeing a lot of the story through the cat's eyes with flashbacks of how the man met his friends. And then that also changes the dynamic of the cat's interactions with those individuals. So it's very interesting. It's very heartwarming, and it's just I cried. It's one of those reads that I think will stick with me for quite a long time. Beautifully told. Yeah, it's a lot of loyalty, a lot of friendship, and a lot of self-sacrifice for others. So it's a very touching story.
That'll get you.
Yeah. If you've ever owned a pet, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one that you're thinking of that I just recently read was If Cats Disappeared from the World.
Yes, that might be it.
Yep.
That might be it. Okay. It's cats.
Cat. There was decidedly not enough cat in that one, personally.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah. Ironically enough, my answer to this question is also a translated Japanese novel. And that is The Housekeeper and the Professor, which is a very recent read for me. I'll be talking about it more in my June wrap up. But so in brief, my grandfather is in mid-stage Alzheimer's and was moved into memory care in the last couple of weeks. And this book deals with a housekeeper who is hired to clean house for an old man whose memory resets every 80 minutes. And I'm going to get emotional talking about it. I'm going to do my best. I cried so much in this book because, and I think it would have made me emotional either way, because it's a beautiful story, and it's such a beautiful reminder about the dignity of all life, and like the reward of getting to know somebody and meeting them where they're at and building a relationship with them, even if it looks a little bit different than it does for a normal person. And I think just the timing of when I read it, and I didn't know that was going to be such a big theme when I went into it. But this was definitely a book that came to me at the exact time I needed to read it. And I was a mess through most of the second half of this book. And it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful little book. So this one's going to be a top 10 contender of the year for me, probably.
Nice.
Yeah. So I made it through. I knew that was the one I was going to pick, but I was like, I don't want to just. I did it. Okay. On the opposite end of the spectrum, a book that made us laugh or made us happy. Wizard.
Well, mine, I'm just going to show
Aware of Chicken.
This little inscription right here.
Oh, I wrote that.
And this says, dedicated with love to my friends Kayla and Andrew Wizard. And this book was released this year. And it's called Silver for Souls by Tori Tech.
And that's my answer too.
In my hand, and then also being, again, in the story as a bartender, made me it made me incredibly happy to have just my friends kind of include me in their art. And I love that. So thank you so much.
My pleasure, honestly. I was very excited to do it. I've been planning that for quite a while, and I was like, it was really fun to think about, okay, if I were to place Kay and Wizard in this world, like what, and like, it was cool because I was able to put some personal touches on it too. Like one of the things that I love about Kayla is how like watching her bake and how artistic it is for her. And that's just such a cool thing, and how that's like a love language for you in a lot of ways. And so that channels into Miss K being, you know, a chef. And then Wizard, when we visited you last year, you and Ben and I sat around your fire pit in the back, and we had little glasses of bourbon, and we chatted, and it was lovely. And I was like, well, so he's going to make Hunter a drink when she comes to the hotel, and it's going to be her favorite thing. And like, it's really cool to be able to write, like take that inspiration and throw it into a book. So it was honestly my pleasure. And it's always a little nerve-wracking as the author, because I'm like, I hope they like the characters I wrote them into.
I loved it.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really funny because I'm trying to remember who asked me. It was Ben or somebody else who read the book right away when it was still in kind of early stages, and was like, because Hunter literally says, "You're a wizard, my friend," to Andrew, the bartender. And the question was like, are there wizards in this world? And I'm like, doesn't matter. That one's staying in. Doesn't matter.
That's fantastic.
Author trump card. Kayla.
Can I just say same for the happy part? Because I same as Andrew, that made me so happy to see. And just you describing that, how thoughtfully you put that in. I didn't even think of my baking as artistic. But
totally.
It makes sense that you say it, because when I'm baking, for me, food needs to also be visually appealing.
Yeah.
So
everybody go down in the description box below, subscribe to Kayla, and watch her baking vlogs.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Thank
Don't
you.
you like pair a book with your baking?
Yeah, I take the recipes are foods that I read in the book, and then I find the recipe for it, and then I bake it.
So cool.
You can also just do your own recipes as well.
Okay, good to know.
No.
I would watch that.
I think there's one for Miss K's bread I might have to do.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the recipe so you know how to make it. But
yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. I mean, I promise I didn't pay them to say that. But I am very glad that you guys enjoyed it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Getting better at compliments. Okay. What are we on?
We can go further. She's not blushing enough yet.
I am. Blushes don't actually show up on my face very well, because my Scandinavian skin is like, no, we are white. You don't even get to have like blush. That's not a thing. But actually, this is a total aside. The first photo that was ever taken of Ben and I when we started dating, we are sitting next to each other, kind of like leaning in. You know, when you're first starting to date someone, you're like, you don't want to like get in their personal space too much. So you're kind of leaning toward each other. And both of our faces are just beet red. It's great. It's so good.
I'm gonna have Ben send me that picture.
I don't know if he has it, actually. I'll find it. I'll show you. It's pretty cute. We were like 17, 18. So yeah. So this one didn't make me laugh because it is heavier subject matter. However, it made me incredibly happy. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. So this is the newest Hunger Games book, and this one follows, it's a prequel to the original trilogy that follows Haymitch Abernathy and his Hunger Games, which I was so nervous. I was so nervous because Haymitch is my favorite character from the Hunger Games, and I was like, she's gonna ruin it. It's gonna be awful, especially after Ballad. This one made me so incredibly happy. It was like just the nostalgia blast that I wanted of going back to the Hunger Games world, and she really pulled it off. And I was, is it perfect? No. Did I absolutely love every page? Yes. So yeah, that one made me incredibly happy that it was exactly what I was hoping for. So, and more Haymitch. It's never a bad thing. Most beautiful, we have two left. Most beautiful book you've purchased this year, Kayla.
Oh, okay. So
sorry, he was ready.
I saw that. Mine is not a fancy book, but this might be my favorite cover.
Ooh.
Monk and Robot.
Nice.
It's the omnibus of the two. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but it's the omnibus of the two.
Becky Chambers.
Yes, A Song for the Wild Built and A Prayer for the Crown Shy, and it's I love this cover.
That's such a cool
two
cover.
Hands reaching, and then the wild elements with the leaves and just everything. Yeah, because it's a story about the basically the robots were built for monotonous jobs, and one day they're like, we would like to explore the wilds, and then they just disappeared from society, and people have not seen them since. Sure. So it's very human story is what I gather from it. But yeah, probably my favorite cover design with the colors and everything. Really well done.
That's a good cover. All right, Wizard, you can show off your swan song now.
I've actually got a few because this one's hard to choose.
Of course you do.
So we'll unslipcase it.
Oh no, careful.
Oh boy.
So you got cornstalk right there. And then the titular swan.
Nice.
Just a gorgeous edition. Suntop doesn't miss. That's the maker of the special edition. Okay. So we've got that one. And then I've got another McCammon. This is Gone South. And as you see, this is the slipcase. And it's the same art.
Nice.
And it's just a stunning, stunning edition. And then I've got one more that was technically not purchased. It was gifted. Oh. But we've got Jeffrey L. Kohanik's Fate of Wizardoms.
Beautiful.
And these are just really beautiful.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. I love these. So those are the most pretty. All great stories as well.
So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna use a couple. So my very lovely friend Casey gifted me the Broken Binding Greenbone Saga set for my birthday this year, and I love stained glass so much, and I love that's
people were very divided about those.
I know, and I actually really think it's cool. But also the end pages are just so pretty. I love the style of them. And yeah, I think this edition is, well, I should show you the cover too.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's all about the edges,
really beautiful. What?
I said it's all about the edges.
It is. But the other one, and this one is a smaller book, but I was at Half Price Books and I found an entire set of the Penrick and Desdemona, Lois McMaster Bujold sub-press novellas. And I bought one because they were very reasonably priced, but I couldn't afford them all. So I bought Penrick's Fox. And I love this cover, you guys. It's even prettier in person. The fox, the vibrancy of the fox and the flaming arrows and the composition of the cover, I just absolutely love it. And it's, signed by her. So I haven't read any of these yet, and this is like book 4. I think. I didn't care. I was like, I love that cover. I want it.
This is the standard omnibus of the first 3. And
Nice.
they're just stunning. I've got the next 2 in my Amazon wish list, and I just need to go around and purchasing them.
Yeah.
But look at that. Gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm excited to read those. And it's in the same world as her World of the Five Gods, Curse of Shalion trilogy.
Like 100 years prior.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I'm excited to read those. Finally, you guys. And these are going to come back next year. What?
Yeah.
What do we have?
I've got what series do you want to finish this year and most anticipated read?
Oh, whoops. I missed that last one. Well, guys, what series do you want to finish this year? Shoot. Hold on. Let me grab a...
Called out on your own channel.
Yep. All right. Wizard, what series do you want to finish this year?
It may be unrealistic, but Fate of Wizardoms by Jeffrey L. Kohanek. This is just a really just bread and butter, classic kind of 90s, 80s, early 2000s style of fantasy where you've got a dwarf, you've got a rogue, you've got these archetypes, and then you've got these just wizards who would be kings, and they're fighting against them because they're bad people. And yeah, it's just really good. It's really enjoyable. I've read the first book already, and I've got 5 more.
Nice. Piece of cake.
Yeah, right? Considering I haven't finished a single series all year.
Neither
All my plans are on fire.
Kayla, what do you want to finish this year?
I've got a few. Gale Song series by Shauna Lawless, but that's more keeping up with it because it's now going into second era. So
it's continuing.
It's continuing. Yeah, book 4 is coming out with second era.
Good for her.
This year, awesome. As well as another novella. So yeah, there's more coming. So I'd like to keep up with that because I've been really enjoying it. I'm also doing the I think I have it here somewhere. I'd like to keep up with this if I can, or catch up. Sun Eater.
Nice.
And then I'm really, I think I can do this one because I read the first book in a day. I was just so hooked to it, and it's such a comfort read. The Memoir of Lady Trent by Marie Brennan, which is the natural history of the dragons. Such a fun read. It's memoir style, so you're basically reading the future self of the character tell her story as a memoir. So she will tell you what's happening as though it's happening in that moment, retrospective first person. And then there'll be like a little interjection of, now you, the reader, might think this or this based on these rumors that happened over the years, but I'm here to clarify. And she kind of like, goes down the rabbit hole with that sometimes. So Victorian setting where this female character is just basically wants to be a scientist and study dragons, but society that's not proper for a woman to do. You need your husband, right? Your husband does that stuff, not you. So you have that whole society clash, and she's just like this, lady who's like, no, I want to do it.
I want to do it.
So it's fun. It's adventurous. It's just like a nice comfort read for me. So I think I can finish that one. Ambitious goals. Finish them.
Hey,
we've learned
I
from
believe
last
in you
year.
guys. It's going to happen. The 2 series that I want to finish for sure, I will finish City Watch this year. I have 2 left, so that will be happening. And then I have 1 book left in the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. So I'm going to be finishing this in the next few months. So those are kind of my 2 big ones.
I'll be very interested on your Fall of Babel thoughts.
Me too. So is everyone else. I'm really excited.
70 to 80% of that book.
Yeah. I will definitely keep you updated. Okay, now we have our last question. Most anticipated reads for the rest of the year. Wizard.
Well, so
sorry.
It's all good. I'm taking a deep breath.
I'm just trying to see if I can catch you guys off guard.
It's weird. So I've got other people controlling my TBR for the most of the rest of the year.
Oh, wow.
But if I have my way, I'd like to fit one, if not both of these in. And no, it's not Blue Flames. Get off my back. We've got McCammon's Mystery Walk.
Okay.
I've just been really vibing with McCammon. And again, I seem to be in my horror phase. So
love it.
Whatever. And then
please, I need to clip that.
And then we got Whispers of the Storm by Z.B. Steele.
Nice.
Because I've read the first chapter, I loved it.
Yeah,
and like I loved it so much I got scared of it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I don't stop reading this now, I'm not going to read anything else that I have planned. And so I pumped the brakes really quickly.
Yeah.
But that first chapter was right at my alley. It reminded me of a book that Kay and I really like from Aaron S. Jones.
Yeah.
Memories of Blood and Shadow.
Yeah, that one. Which I need Booktube that as well. Where is he?
Let's just message and spam.
Yeah, I need to get there. But like, hey, I need my fix.
I love your willpower on that one, Andrew, because I would have just given in and read the whole thing.
So like, I've got like categories of like, oh, I've got time for a fun read, and then I'm like, I've made commitments.
Oh yeah, that's all right. All right.
Kayla?
I think I'm okay. All right, we're gonna do it. The Fall of Sylvandria by T.J. McKay.
T.J. McKay.
The audiobook is coming out very soon. And so this is one I've been very excited to immersion read because from what I've heard, and I've been lucky enough to talk to the author, there's a lot of blending of different elements across different genres of fantasy. So I'm very intrigued to read this one and do an immersion read and see how the audiobook turned out. And then can I add a bonus one?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because I'm having a hard time choosing. This is going to actually be completely different. This is Leonardo da Vinci's biography by Walter Isaacson.
Huge.
It's illustrated too. Like there's color illustrations in here.
Cool.
Like it's.
I love Da Vinci, but no thanks.
So
that would be really interesting, I bet.
Yeah, and growing up, I was always fascinated with Da Vinci, but I never. I mean, there was no internet back then. You kind of just had what you had. So
back when the dinosaurs were roaming Canada.
So yeah, I want to read that one as well to see if I make it through. Andrew, I will let you know. If I fail, I will also let you know.
We're all pretty much the same age, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just like Google what happened in Da Vinci's life.
Pretty sure I might be the youngest though.
I think I'm the oldest.
You might be.
No, wait. Kay, are you older than me? I'm March.
No, I'm September.
Dang it.
Middle child problems.
May. I love that we had. You never know what's going to happen on one of these streams, honestly. Oh no, he's crying. A book that made Andrew Wizard cry, the Midyear Book Freakout Tag. Okay, well, this is actually kind of funny that I'm going to hold this up now. So one of my most anticipated reads for the rest of 2025 is The Sundering Hours by Jacqueline Hagan. Because I did read Blue Flames.
Just end the video here.
Yep. I really loved The Blue Flames a lot. It was actually really fantastic, and I enjoyed reading it immensely. So I'm continuing on in the series now with Sundering Hours. Just trying to, guilt trip Andrew as heavily as I can for a minute here. So yeah, that's a big one because then I'll be caught up on the series before she comes out with book 5. Be careful with that. And then the other one, I think this book might be the highest, most often recommended book in the Booktube community to me of people that I know so far in the last 2 years. It's constant. It's like almost as bad, probably worse than Sun Eater was, actually, even.
Oh.
Shards of Earth by Adrian.
And Pete and Evie.
Well, yeah.
And Matt.
But I have been getting into more sci-fi recently, which was one of my goals this year. And Shards of Earth is a Motley Crue spaceship, like main character veteran, I think.
I need to give it another roll. I didn't give it a fair shake.
I am very excited to read this, and I like the number of people that are like, Tori, you are going to love this book. And it's not just the like, oh, I really hope you love it. It's like, can you read it already so you can 5-star and tell us that you 5-starred it? So I'm very excited to get to that one. I do own the first 2, so I'm excited
Have you read Ogres yet? You should read Ogres.
I have. I read Ogres, I think, before you did.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I read it.
No, I think mine was last year.
Yeah, I read it like 2-3 years ago.
I read it with Murphy, I think.
Did you?
I think so.
Well, guys, we have officially made it through our entire list of questions. And Kayla and Andrew have been very patient because it is an hour later for them than it is for me. So I appreciate
my time.
I appreciate both of you spending all of this time. We did pretty well, though. It was a little longer than last year, but we did pretty well. And thank you both for spending your Sunday evening. Happy Father's Day to Andrew, because we're filming on Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
And to all the fathers out there, even though this is going to come out after Father's Day. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me and sharing your best and worst and most funnest of 2025 so far. I appreciate you both.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, that was awesome.
Absolutely. We'll do it again next year if we're all here, which we should be.
And I'm
not planning on going anywhere.
Me neither. So we should be good. So to everyone in the audience, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and go down in the description box and subscribe to Andrew and Kayla's channels. And I hope that you guys are having a fantastic week and that you are reading some 5-star. I'm not used to my camera being up.
5-star.
5 stars.
There you go. You nailed it. First try.
And we will see you in the next video.